Have y'all seen the surface? It is an arch, okay? It comes with a stand. And I want to show you something a little bit different that I think you might love. Little Halloween magic. So come hang out with me for just a little while and we'll play with this new surface. Of course, I have some cute Halloween cutouts that I think that you will also love. So let's see. Hi, Lisa. How are you, love? Welcome. Let's see. All right. Just had to put my keyword in. Now, I'm going to use this chalk paint. It's called Maui Sand is the color. Okay. Hey, Steph. How are you? Welcome. Hi, Alma. I'm going to shake this first. Okay, so we're going to paint this surface. Okay. Hi, Elizabeth. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Friday. Thank God we made it somehow. I don't know how, but we did. Hi, Sandra. How are you? So I'm just going to use the lid to begin with. I don't know if I need any water on this or not, but we'll find out. Okay. So I love these new chalkable shapes because they just paint really, really nice. Okay. Now I want this to be decent coverage. Okay. But we are going to just not have this be perfect. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Of course, none of my paint jobs ever are perfect. If you've been watching me for long enough, you know. All right. So just get that paint on there. Don't want it to be too thick. But I do kind of want it to be, I don't want it to be all streaky, okay? So I am trying to thin it out as I go. And so there is a black surface just like this and a white one. I chose the white one tonight. I don't know why. It was the closest one at hand. I probably could have used the black one. But, I mean, you could paint the black one too, right? But I wanted to do this kind of gray background. And so I thought this one might work better. I don't know. You could try it with the black though, obviously. Anyone will work. This does have a stand that comes with it. So you don't even have to try and figure out how you're going to make it stand up or hang or whatever. It comes with your solution. Okay. Plus, I mean, I'm using acrylic on here. I don't plan on taking this off, but it is a washable surface. So you could absolutely paint with chalk paste and remove it whenever the season's over. Plus, this technically is a double-sided surface, so you could do one side for one holiday, the other for the other holiday, however you want to do that, okay? I will be ordering another one of these. Hi, Patsy, how are you? Welcome. All right, so I'm just going to take this, I'm gonna let it sit for a minute right over here. Let it become dry. And then, okay, so I have all these little cutouts, like a spooky tree, a cute little cat, a bat, a couple of jack-o'-lanterns over here, a limb, also a round cutout just so that I can make a moon. And I have my little makeup sponges. Let me just trim these ones that I've used so that I can reuse them and not be super wasteful. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start with, I also have these fence pieces. I'm going to start with my moon over here. And it's going to be a yellow, okay? I might add a little bit of white to it, but we're going to start with yellow. And I'm using this kind of like, I don't know what color this is. It's called Vintage Mustard. It's kind of like I don't know, it's not really mustard colored, okay? It's kind of like it's got a lot of white in it, so that it's not quite so mustardy, but I thought it would be perfect for like a Halloween moon, kind of spooky, give you that little spooky vibe, okay? That's my moon so far. And I realize it looks more like a sun, but I'm probably gonna add just a little bit of white once this is dry, okay? All right, so I think I'm good there. I've got paint on my freshly done nails. Every time, y'all, it does not fail, okay? Yeah, a harvest moon, there you go, perfect. Okay, So let me clean off my nail before it dries, and then it's really hard to get off of there. I do half the time I walk around with paint on my nails, just because, like, I guess it's the name of the game. All right, so here are my little fence pieces. I'm gonna paint them white first. They are not gonna stay white for long. Hi Marie, how are you? I'm glad you're here too. Thank you for joining me. Happy Friday, my friend. Again, I'm using a used makeup sponge that I just let dry and cut off the end of it. Y'all, these are super handy, okay? If you comment the word new, you'll get my Amazon link. You can go on there, look under craft supplies, and you'll see the link that I use to buy these in bulk. And I know that y'all aren't, maybe you are painting as much as I do, but I go through these like crazy, and I use them like 2 or 3 times each, usually. Sometimes 4. I will occasionally use it all the way to the little nub, but then I end up with paint all over myself. That's probably half my problem with getting paint all over my fingernails. So, unless if you plan on wiping it off right away and cleaning your hands up, you might want to just use them 3 times. Well, I'm so happy to have you here, Marie. Thank you for joining me, and everyone else as well. So happy it's Friday. The week really went by fast. I think it's because I was traveling and so busy that I couldn't even like hardly catch my breath. All right, so I'm not doing the best paint job on these. I'm going to rough them up a little bit here in just a second, and they're gonna not be white for long, but I did want a white base. Okay. All right, I'm going to hold on to this white makeup sponge so that I can use it on the moon here in just a minute whenever it's dry. So I'm gonna let this sit over here. Also, let's see if I can have a little balancing act going on over here on my little cart. Okay, so we're gonna get started on the rest of these. I have some orange. This is that same Home Decor chalk paint. It's energetic orange, very bright orange. And it'll be perfect for my little jack-o'-lanterns. I thought I had more sponges over here, but maybe not. So let me just dig into my little thing that I have over here now. You can add just a little bit of water to your sponge before you get to painting, and it'll thin out your paint. But this orange is a little bit thinner than the other folk art paints that I have. Let me actually, I think I already kind of shook this one up, but this one's a little more watered down already. It's just thinner, it feels like. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if it's because of the color or what, but. Okay, let's see if we can not get orange paint all over the place. That would be wonderful. I would like that, but who knows what's gonna happen, honestly. So you like my new shirt? I've been shopping with this little online store that I found called Discount Divas, y'all, and I'm obsessed with these like flowy shirts because number one, they're comfortable and they don't like they're not like tight, and so it kind of hides any imperfections. But I also don't feel like it doesn't feel like it's like a muumuu. I know it sort of looks like a muumuu, me sitting here like this. But it feels like, it gives you like the flowiness of a muumuu, but it still looks cute, right? Not trying to look like, hi Karen, like I'm walking around in a muumuu. Although, I am kind of interested in that life. Just free-flowing, you know. All right, so this is Castle, again, my favorite paint brand. The folk art, home decor, it never fails me. We're gonna paint this little gravestone here, and again, I plan on not having all of these be just one nice color whenever we get done. We'll get out the antique wax and kind of dirty all this stuff up. at the end. I know, me too. I love it. I don't like the ones that make you look frumpy though. That's the thing. So I'm really loving these ones that are flowy, but still like kind of sexy. Oh my gosh, y'all. Spreading orange onto this thing from that spot of orange that I've got over there. I'm a mess, I tell you. Okay, so I also have a brown, and again, this brown is going to be way too dark, but we're going to use it, and then I'll go over the top of it with a little bit of that gray, just like what's left over on that makeup sponge. And I think that'll give it kind of the dead tree vibe that I have in my mind. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Okay? All right, again, another makeup sponge that I will reuse 3 or 4 times. And trying not to go in too heavy with this brown. This paint smells weird. I don't know why. This brown smells like, I don't know what it is, what it smells like. It's weird. It's very strange. None of the other ones smell funky, but it's not like a gross smell. It's just strange. I don't know. It almost reminds me of that, like those markers that we had. Well, I don't know. My stepdaughter had them too, so it could be you or your kids that had them that smelled like different stuff, but they were all kind of like not really great smells. Anybody remember those? That's what this paint smells like. I don't know, y'all. Just trying to make it through life and not throw away this brand new thing of brown paint. So I still continue to use it, even though every time I open it, I'm like, wow, what is that smell? It's weird. But then I'm like, but that's a really nice dark brown, so I'm gonna just hold on to it. Plus it's brand new. All right. All right, we're getting through this. Now, I think y'all are gonna love this project. I'm super excited about it. I have been wanting to do this one. I almost took it with me whenever I went to Atlanta, but I'm trying my best to find easier stuff to take with me whenever I travel, because a lot of the time I have to go out to dinner and stuff, and I may not get back to the hotel till later. I may have to do it before I go out to dinner, and so I try to like bring stuff with me that's simple but still cute, you know? I keep that fine line going. Okay, one last one. We've got black, of course, for our cat and our bat. And that's way too much paint. So let me see if I can tap some of that off over here. Okay. And I love this paint. I only have to do 1 layer with the black and it's perfect. Basically every time. Okay. Perfectamundo, I think. Okay, so now I want to come back over here to my tree and this limb that I have here, and just, I'm going to take my little gray that I used a minute ago on the gravestone and just kind of lightly, okay, it's not even like really wet paint anymore. I'm kind of having to force it. Just give it kind of a musty effect, you know? This tree is like, dead, but is it? I don't know. It's in a graveyard. Might have went a little too hot and heavy with the gray in the center there, but that's all right. Let's see if we can blend that a little bit. Maybe even get the brown back over it. I think that's pretty good, actually. And then on this limb over here, do the same thing, get that same effect going. All right. Perfect. And then just kind of blend that just a little so it's not so, but that gives it kind of a, I don't know if y'all can even see that. Let me see if I can. It's kind of like, see it? How it's got that little bit of a grade effect? I'm liking that a lot. Okay, so now let's see if we can move some stuff around, make a little bit of room here. And all this stuff is dry. Also love this paint because it dries so fast. Very convenient for it to dry quick. Okay, then I wanted to come back to my moon while once it dried. And it looks like my white is a little bit dry too, but that's okay. I'm just going to kind of get just a tiny bit of white. I don't want a lot, okay? So remember, you can comment the word new to get this stuff to make this. You'll get a link. And I have this stuff on sale tonight, okay? All of the supplies that I'm using, including the transfer, the surface, plus the cutouts, okay? Just provide your own paint and little sponges, okay? Okay. There we go. So I just added, I don't know, hopefully y'all can even see that. Just the smallest amount of white, okay? I didn't want to go too crazy on that. And I'm even going to kind of blend out these places that look too much like just streaks so that it does not appear that I just took a paintbrush to it, okay? So there's my little moon. And yeah, a harvest moon, perfect, okay? And then I have my fence here. And remember, this is like a graveyard scene, right? So let's see what we can do here. I have this one is the dark antique. Let me see if I have, I don't know. Let me look and see where my other ones are. I have a brown somewhere around here, but that's okay. We'll go ahead. I'm looking to see if it's, I don't know, sitting over on my thing somewhere. It's probably on this little cart next to me and I just didn't see it, but that's okay. So I'm just taking my little sponge brush thing and I'm going to, ooh. Just add, this fence is dirty, okay? It's not a pretty cute little white picket fence, okay? Maybe it was one day, but no mo, okay? All right, so there's my dirtied up little fence pieces. Super easy to do. And we can do that with our gravestone too. And this stuff is like wax, okay? So whenever you rub it on, you can kind of blend it a little bit. You can even kind of wipe it off, but it dries and it's like a sealer. It's interesting. I might even hit my little pumpkins with a little bit of this. So they're not so new anymore. Kind of questionable, maybe a little rotten. Not too much, but just that overall effect of decay in a graveyard, right? All right, here we go. There we are. So just add a little bit, okay? Not a whole lot. I don't want to overdo it with this antiquing wax, but y'all, this stuff is amazing. I've had this same jar since like for the last 2 years or more, and I barely used any of it. So, all right, I have my surface that I painted. As you can see, it's kind of splotchy, which is okay. We are going to fix this thing right up. Oh, you know what? I still probably needed that. I always throw things down too soon. See if I can find a decent brush for this. Okay, so I'm gonna just use this like angled brush, and I got rid of this too soon. So I'm gonna get my white paint, and I do not want to add a lot of white paint, okay? So I'm gonna get some on my brush and just like cover the end of the brush and tap it off enough to where I can easily dry brush this thing. And I want to go in the longest strokes possible so that I don't have a finish point in the center, which I already kind of messed that up, but that's okay. We'll just keep going, but all the way across and all the way back. And that way it doesn't look like you took a paintbrush to it, okay? So just all the way, and now again, I'm using acrylic paint on this, okay? So it's not gonna just be washable, but you could absolutely use chalk paste for this entire thing, and then it would be removable. You could start again, but the way I figure it is I'm going to make some of this removable from the back side so that I can potentially use the other side and flip it over and use it for something else, okay? So I am gonna just get a little bit, I don't know how well this is gonna work on this gray background, but I don't want to do a whole lot of this stuff yet. In fact, I probably shouldn't at all, honestly, until I'm done. So yeah, I'm going to wait because this stuff is wax, okay? Don't use it before your transfer is my point, because it's not going to let your transfer stick. I've done that before and messed up my surface. I had to flip over and do it again. So, hi Tammy. Hi Brownie, how are you? We are going to use a little bit of surface wax, so just a little. And then we'll come back with the antiquing wax at the end and just do the same thing and get this thing all over. Now, this is the transfer we're using. This is called Haunting Night, okay? Ghosts and goblins, spooks galore, scary witches at your door, jack-o'-lantern smiling bright, wishing you a haunting night. I think it's perfect for this. And by the way, this was not my idea. I absolutely stole this idea from another designer. Saw it, loved it, how to do it, so copied it literally pretty much to the T. But thank you for that, my friends. I appreciate it for the ideas. Okay, but I love this one. I love Halloween stuff. I love Halloween decor. Sadly, we don't have a really good front porch anymore, so I can't really put out all the stuff that I used to, like my witch broom and all that stuff that I have. And so I gotta come up with other ways to decorate. So shelf sitters, and I guess the back porch could use some decorating potentially, especially since we are having people over all the time now. And all of that. Okay, so just pushing this down really well. I did use a tiny bit of wax before I started, and that's my placement on my board, okay? So remember, this does have a stand, so you want to keep that in mind whenever you're putting your transfer down. This surface is plenty big to use like just a little bit of the space. And then there's plenty of space on here to add additional stuff to it. So that's why this thing is absolutely perfect for this project. We are going to use 2 colors. I have, oh gosh, almost didn't have gold anymore. This is gold, just shimmer gold. And then I got Dune too. So I want to do a shadow effect on this one. So we're going to do Dune first, and then we'll come back with the gold so that the gold really stands out nicely. I'm going to try and do a very thin layer of Dune so that I don't have to worry about cleaning my transfer, and I can just go right in with the gold. So I'm trying to not use a whole ton of Dune. I might actually use a little bit more and then come back and scrape it. Just so that I can get it put down really nicely and then come back and remove it. Okay. And remember, this is a big transfer, so if you're going to do multiple colors or whatever, you can. But just keep in mind that you're going to want to move quickly or do paste and peel. Okay, so we can do that too. I can show you that. Let's see. Get the rest of this, and then we'll peel it right here up to this line, and then just set it back down, and then we can continue on, and I don't have to worry so much about rushing through. But if you're gonna layer, I got something on my shirt. I'm upset about it. I just realized. Hopefully it will come off. I need to be wearing an apron. I don't know why I don't, y'all. I'm a mess. It's fine though. Most of my clothes, I've never damaged any of my clothes while I'm working. Hi Milta, how are you? Hi Bobby. What's going on? Thank you for joining me. All right. Now I'm going to come back and just make sure that I got as much of the paste up as I could. Throw that into my cup. And, ooh, yeah, I do. I'll do that, Marie, with on the headstone. Great idea. Okay, so we could stop here. Okay, but who wants to do that? Hi, Chels. How are you? Hey, Kara. All right, let us dry this real quick. So you want to dry really, really well. We are going to wax one more time before we put down the second color, okay? And I do advise that you clean your transfer in between uses, okay? Don't be like me. I'm bad example. But I don't think I'm going to clean this one. Yay! I'm doing really good. Had a really good day. I got so much done, y'all. I'm so excited. This job that I have is just amazing. Okay, I get to do a lot of fun stuff, and I just love it. Plus, my boss just gives me free reign to just, whatever I think I need to do, I just can do it, which is amazing. And I have a team. So I think I told y'all a while back that I got a promotion, and I've been able to hire, right now I have 3 guys. I have one more coming towards the end of the month. But I got to work with my newest guy today and absolutely adore him. So that's fun. He's really, really good. I'm so excited for my team, the rest of my team, to like meet him and get to work with him, because they're gonna just love him. So I love that. Oh, let me wax first. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Oh gosh, y'all, I have this little hair tie over here in this jar with like a bunch of squeegees and stuff, and somehow I picked that up while I was picking up a squeegee and just threw a bunch of stuff everywhere. If you saw a bunch of stuff just flying at me, that's what it was. Okay, so I'm putting down some surface wax. Now, I'm not going to go crazy with it, but I am putting it all over the already the paste that I just put down. Okay, so this entire area where the transfer was, I just put a tiny bit of surface wax. Do not use a ton. You don't have to use a lot, okay? Barely any goes so far. Now, here's what I'm doing, okay? I want you to watch real close. I'm taking this transfer and I'm setting it right back down over my words, okay, where I can see the letters perfectly through the transfer. And then I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna scoot it where it's about halfway over the letters still, okay? Now on the bottom, I need to keep an eye because the font on the bottom is much thinner than the top, okay? So I don't want to go over too much, but I want a little bit of that color from the bottom to pop out. So I'm just pushing this back down. And this is the great thing about these real thin transfers, the real smooth and thin ones, that you can easily do this and not clean it in between. Okay, I would definitely clean it if you're gonna do this more than once. I wouldn't keep going back and forth mixing colors and that kind of stuff on it, but I think we'll be okay this time, hopefully. And it's dry, so it's not a big deal. I don't have any paste dried in the transfer, so let me see if I can show you. I don't know if y'all can see how far I moved that over. Down here you can really see it, okay? But I moved it over just a little so that I'm covering part of that dune and I'm not covering part of it, okay? So that I can, a little bit of it will poke through is my point. All right, now this is Shimmer Gold. Love this color. And I'm just going to go to town, okay? Just like regular, get right in there with your paste, okay? And you're gonna love this effect. I think it's gonna be really cool. Plus, whenever you're doing this on, maybe you have a color that you really, really wanna use, but the background is maybe too dark, you can do a light color. And preferably use a matte paste on the bottom, okay? So the first layer needs to be a matte because what's gonna happen if you use a shimmer, it's kind of a thicker paste. It's gonna cause you to have some leaking around the words, okay? And you don't wanna have leaking around your letters. It will not look perfect if you do that, but if you use matte on the bottom, you will pretty much guaranteed to have a good result every time, and this looks awesome. I am glad that I did a shadowing technique because the dune will help this stand out, help the gold stand out, and it won't be washed out or anything like that from the background being a little darker. But so think about that, like white on the bottom looks really good pretty much with anything on top of it. Even you could do like a pink, a bright pink on the bottom and then pick another color, even like a black on top would look cool, depending on what you're doing. So play around with the colors. And you could try it on a reusable surface so that if it gets messed up, you can try again. But even on a piece of wood, you can always sand it down and start over, okay? You can always try again. So just try that. And I would love for you to share what you're working on in my VIP group, whether it's chalk projects or not, I don't care. I like to see the crafts that y'all are making. So that is my transfer, and you can see the kind of shadowed effect where it looks like it's kind of 3D, okay? So now, again, I want to dry this really well. Shimmer paste does take just a little bit longer to dry. Now, it's a lot thinner on those thin transfers, so it dries a lot faster than it does with the thicker transfers. But I want to make sure that we're good and dry. I want to add a little bit of my antiquing paste, or antiquing wax, I mean. over the top of all of this to just give it a little bit of a weathered effect. And then we can go from there, okay? All right, I think we're good. Now, I'm gonna get an antiquing paste, and again, go in with this stuff on top of your, after you put your transfer on, not before, because it's gonna mess up your whole thing. I tried it last winter, and I totally had to do it again on the back. I had to start completely fresh because my transfer didn't even want to lay down on it. And there was no way I was going to be able to use it. I'm loving this so far. I hope y'all are too. Make sure that you love this post, that you share it with your friends, with your craft people, craft groups that you're in. They love this stuff. And if you're not following my page yet, you're welcome to do that. Just go over to my page and hit follow or like. And whenever you comment the keyword, make sure that you sign up for notifications so that you hear whenever you get a message whenever I'm going live, which is handy. So then you can come on and hang out with me while I'm live and not make me craft alone. Okay. All right. So I just added, I know you can see the wax on there, but just, I just wanted to give it like a kind of just a weathered look. Okay. Now, I'm going to try and get this to dry. This is wax, so it's like, it kind of cures after a few minutes. But, oh, you know what? Let's see if I have a gray over here. I do. I don't know. Okay, so while that's kind of settling, I'm gonna try, so this is my gray paint marker. I don't know if I've even used this one. I guess I have. Let me see if I can. I don't know if that's even a thing that's gonna work, but I know my black one works. All right. Okay. Marie's suggestion. Thank you for that one. I'm gonna let this dry and then probably kind of go over that a little bit too. Hi, Jocelyn, welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out. Okay, there we go. Add a little bit of that distressing stuff over it so it doesn't look like I just wrote it on there today. All right. There we go. So, dirty that thing up a little bit too. Everything is dirty in this graveyard. Okay, so again, I just want to quickly measure this to make sure that I know where my bottom limit is. Okay, so this is the stand that comes with this. And as you can see, we go to about a finger on there. So let me just see if I can mark this on the edge so that I can see where I need to go above. Okay, so I just marked the edges so that I know where my base of my stuff needs to be, because we're going to make a little Halloween scene here. Okay, all right, we have all of our parts. We have our little fence, our cute little haunted tree, and this is what I'm thinking. Now you can have it hang over the edge if you like, okay? And I have my little glue gun here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there. I put way too much, as per usual. Pretty much my standard, what I always do is too much glue. Okay. And then I've got my little gravestone here, and I just don't want to cover up my words, okay? And I'm sticking above my little line right here, okay? I just put my stuff above it so that when I put this back in my little holder, it'll sit in there comfortably, okay? Without pushing on my stuff or potentially being too low, okay? So now I want to add my little fence. I'm trying to not cover up my words too much. Just like that. Okay, so let me see right here. We're gonna go 1, 2, I don't know if that one's gonna be. On there, well maybe it is, but that's okay. All right, so here's this. Oh gosh, I just dropped, I didn't even have that glued on because I wasn't thinking about it. Okay, y'all. Apparently it's been a long week. It's time to Miller time. My boss always says whenever we're on a call that's like running over and it's like 4:45, he's like, you're pushing on Miller time right now. All right, so then I have my little pumpkins, which I also dirtied them up just a little bit. Going to put just a few dots of glue on them. And I've got enough to do 2 on one side and 1 on the other. Okay. There's that. And then have our little pumpkin over here. Uh-oh. Yeah, so that wax does not like to let stuff stick to it, as you can see. So add a little bit more glue this time. And see if I can't make it want to, okay? All right, and then we have, oh, y'all, I abandoned my cat and my bat down there on the floor. I was wondering where they were. Okay, oh my goodness, look at me. Don't touch anything. Before you clean yourself up. This stuff is a mess. I think it's that wax. Okay, so be careful with your clothes. Now, here's what I want to do. Okay, this little moon is gonna sit right behind, and here's where the whole temporary situation comes into play. Okay, so you can get a piece of tape. and come to the back side of your, right here. And just put that piece of tape right there, okay? So then, that's where my glue is gonna adhere to, okay? For my moon. Now, let me just figure out my placement of all my stuff before I move on. I think I also want this guy to be behind there. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm tempted to trim that, actually. I think I'm going to. Now, I want my cat to be able to sit on this limb, so I just want it to be like long enough for that. Okay, now I don't really want it to be propped up against there like that, but I guess I don't really have much of a choice. Now I suppose I could have my cat sitting on it like that so that you can't see that little spot, and then my bat up in the moon. Okay, so let us flip this over real quick, and I'm going to try, I'm going to attempt to not have this turn into a complete disaster. So let's give it a go. All right, so that, I just want it to stick really well, okay, and hopefully that will work. And then I'm gonna take my little branch over here and butt it right up against there. And then my cat can sit right on that, okay? And then my bat, same thing, right onto the moon. Now this way, with it glued, hopefully that'll hold like that. I can take this off and that tape will protect my surface. But look how stinking cute this is, y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm not done now. I'm not done yet, all right? Now here's a trick that I learned from that same lady that I stole this entire idea from. Okay, so this is floral foam that I got from Dollar Tree. Hopefully this one will work the same as the other ones I've seen. So I'm just taking my hot glue gun and squirting that on here, okay? And I cut this apart. So this was just a tube, but just going to make me some little strands of glue. Now this is not working super great, but all you do is stick it together, and then whenever you pull apart, you have some spider web. Okay, now I'm making a mess here, but I'm just going to string that all over. Now this one from the Dollar Tree, don't really recommend it, okay? The last time I did this, I used the one from, one of them from a floral foam from Hobby Lobby, and it didn't have all these little green pieces that are coming off of this, okay? So just keep that in mind. If you're gonna go to Dollar Tree, that's great, but yeah, sometimes get what you pay for, okay? So highly recommend that you get that from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, I mean, shoot, the clearance section from pretty much any craft store, or even Walmart. You can get craft foam, okay? Or the floral foam, I mean. So do that. to your heart's content and just pull that across and hook it. If I can get it to hook over here. Okay. And we just made our own spider web. No spider required. Okay. Ugh. Have like stuff stuck all over me now from this. Okay. So, gonna do this again. Now, normally you get a lot more, but as you can see, it's just pulling apart and giving you the nice little webs of your Halloween dreams. Okay, so let's hook that on there. And I think I need more business going on up here at the top, so just pull that apart and really no rhyme or reason to it, okay? Just make sure that you don't have green little bits all over the place, which I'll have to go over here and clean all this up so that I make sure that I don't have that again down here. The one time that you want glue strands all over your project. Oops. Oh. All right. And then let's try this again. As it dries, I seem to be getting a little bit more and sort of almost better consistency strands almost. If I can get them to stay. All right. All right, I think we're good. Okay, now we could definitely do more with the spooky spiderweb strands, but you get the idea, right? So there is my finished little Halloween shelf sitter. Look how cute that turned out. Isn't that adorable? So you can get this. And you can comment the word new to get all the stuff to make this. And I will see you tomorrow night, okay? I love you all. Have a great night. Thank you for joining me.